Today we're going to be talking about my journey into the world of horticulture. Welcome to Garden Theory. But before we dive into that, I want to take this opportunity to share a little bit about myself with you guys. We've had the channel now for about 2 months since we started at the end of March. So I thought it'd be a good idea to share a little bit about my story and how I got interested in horticulture and why I created this channel and why you should subscribe and watch our videos. So as you know, my dad would always take me hunting and fishing, so I've always enjoyed the outdoors and spending time with them doing that. Though as I approached middle school, my interest shifted more into art and music. Even though as a toddler and a young kid, I was always super energetic and always wanted to be in the spotlight. It's always fun when we watch home videos. I'm always trying to jump in the middle of the frame of the camera. But as I grew up into middle school and into high school, I became more introverted and more shy. So my interest in middle school and as I developed friend groups, I got more into anime and manga as well as art. And I also played the baritone in middle school. One of the first mangas that I ever read was Full Metal Alchemist. It's one of my current favorites. And currently I've been reading Demon Slayer. It was my introduction into anime and manga that I developed a fascination with Japan, even in middle school. And especially now, where I enjoy horticulture and gardening, I really want to go visit Japan someday. Hopefully, be able to see some of their beautiful gardens and beautiful culture that they have there. After I graduated high school in 2016, I went on a 2-year church mission where I served in the Salt Lake City West Mission, but I spent most of my time in West Valley as well as Kearns and Tooele. But I really enjoyed my time on my mission, where I was able to spend those 2 years away from friends and family and spent the time building myself and really helped me to mature a lot more as an individual, to be able to see how people lived in different circumstances than the ones that I grew up. But after 2018, when I got back, shortly afterwards, I went to BYU, Idaho. I was actually accepted in 2016, but it being a church sponsored school, it was deferred until I got back from my mission. My original major that I had put in high school was music. So my first semester, I started with 18 credits, quite a bit, and I had one music class as well, and mostly generals. I quickly realized that the workload was way too much, so I ended up dropping the music class after the first couple weeks and ultimately decided I needed to switch my major. I changed my major to ag business. I thought I would give it a try, but after taking a few economic classes, I quickly realized my brain cannot compute with economics. Many times during homework and in class, my brain, for some reason with economics, I'd always answer the opposite of what the correct answer was. So if there was a question and they asked, would demand go up or down? I would put down and the correct answer would be up. I don't know what it is, but I realized that I would not be able to do very well in this major. At the time, I had also put myself on a cluster, which is a half a minor, which is a program they do at BYU Idaho. And so I had a cluster of horticulture. And so at the same time, I took one horticulture class, which is something I wanted to try out as a potential major. And I tried out a class called Introduction to Landscape Design. And I took this class in the spring of 2020, right at the start of the pandemic with COVID. So it was all online classes, but I had a great professor. The class was amazing. I was instantly hooked into it. Growing up, as I mentioned earlier, I really loved art as well as nature and being outdoors. And so landscape design was something that really took me away. It combined both of those together, which wasn't something I thought could be possible. It was something artistic, but also scientific. And was also a viable career option with a big demand. And I remember when I went to school, they would show some of the statistics with their students. And on average, their graduates would have, on average, in the horticulture as well as agriculture programs, would have 5 job offers. So it was very high demand for this career. And I never considered doing an art career, and so I decided that I wanted to make horticulture my major, but I also wanted to do something with business. So I decided to do a cluster, or like I said, it's technically half a minor in small business. And so when I eventually graduated, I also received a certificate in small business management and innovation. Throughout my college experience, I was able to go on a few school trips. The first one was before COVID, and we went to the Central Valley in California and visited primarily tree nut farms. And then after COVID, in 2022, I was able to participate in NCLC, which is hosted by the National Associations of Landscape Professionals. It's the biggest career and green industry event in the United States, with over 60 participating colleges and universities. And BYU and BYU Idaho are one of the best ranking schools usually at these events. And so the year that we went, me and my team that represented our school got fourth place. And I personally got fourth place in irrigation troubleshooting, which was a big event with probably around 40 or so teams. We all had an irrigation system laid out in a field for each of us to diagnose the issues and to resolve them and get the irrigation functioning. And so were the first team to finish and place fourth overall. Most of my major in horticulture was emphasized on landscape design and maintenance. And with our program, you could really see, with our program, you could either spec into production landscape design or like floral design. Overall, they have probably one of the best programs in university for landscape design and maintenance. Really great professors with industry knowledge and background. I really enjoyed it, even though COVID interrupted a lot of it for me. So it wasn't really until my senior year when we started going back to in-person classes where I felt like I was really starting to kick off with my schooling. And honestly, I could feel personally like I could spend probably another 2 years there learning more. Of course, another amazing thing happened while I was going to school. I met my now wife, and we're now, I believe this year in August, we'll be married for 5 years, which is exciting. It's been an amazing journey to have her by my side. For privacy, we're not going to mention her name on this channel, but she has also been to Japan before, and we're excited to go to Japan together, hopefully within the next few years. You would think after taking 18 credits my first year in school that I'd be a bit easier on myself, but I tended to stick around that number every semester. And even my last semester, I took 21 credits so I could graduate a semester early. And somehow I was able to pass that semester with all A's and B's. During my time in school, after that first initial class in landscape design, I immediately did an internship that summer during COVID, which luckily for landscaping, it was considered an essential industry. So we didn't really have any issues working. So I found myself pretty lucky during COVID. Didn't really affect me or my wife that much on a day-to-day basis. We were kind of introverts anyways, so having events canceled didn't really bother us too much. But luckily, with the company that I worked with during my internship, I ended up staying with them for almost 2 years while I was going to school. Eventually became a crew leader for them for a couple seasons and helped them train a couple new hires as well. So overall, I really enjoyed working there. Helped to teach me a lot of good professional maintenance skills. It was a family ran business, and my boss, who also graduated from BYU Idaho, also had a lot of similar high standards when it came to landscaping, so I was able to learn a lot of good practices from them. Also did a practicum, which is like a mini internship with another company there in Rexburg, where I learned more about landscape maintenance initiatives. But overall, it was amazing. I love going to school there. I would do it again. And I've also considered potentially doing a master's in landscape architecture, but it might be something for another time if I ever want to dive into that route. So once I graduated in April of 2022, I had a couple choices ahead of me. I could either stay in Idaho and work as an account manager slash crew leader with the company I'd been working with. I could try to find a job in Utah, where my wife's family's from, which there were a couple decent options for different landscape companies there. So I could have tried to get a job there, or I could try to get a job in Arkansas, bit of a smaller market, so it was a little bit tougher to find a decent paying job. But it was where my family's from and lived in. So it took both of us a lot of praying and considering. Did a ton of did a ton of job applications for about a year in advance. Probably over 60, I think. 50 to 60 job applications and maybe only got about 10 responses. It's always surprising to me how many people don't reach back out to you, even though they have their job application open. I did several interviews, around 5 or 6 of them. I think after some time and a lot of praying and deciding, we ultimately decided to go and try out we decided to go out to Arkansas. It was the furthest place for us to travel in our little 98 4Runner and all of our stuff in a one-bedroom apartment. So after some job applications, we decided to take a job with Crystal Bridges, which was great. We were able to line up. So we had that lined up, and my parents came out for my college graduation. So we left pretty much the week or two afterwards, and they brought up a trailer with them. So we were able to load up our stuff and drive down to Arkansas together, which was really nice of them to be able to help us out there. So I worked at Crystal Bridges as a horticulturalist, managed a pretty decent section of their grounds. And anything I mentioned about them in this video or any other video I do isn't sponsored or affiliated. But I really enjoyed working at Crystal Bridges. Probably some of my main takeaways was learning a lot more about Arkansas native plants, water management, native plants, invasive plant management, as well as habitat restorations and ecosystems. A lot of great stuff. We also attended a couple classes while I was there, which they do a lot of great work with helping the public learn more about native plants and ecosystems. So overall, it was really educational and helped me to learn a lot more, especially since they had been established for about 10 years. I was able to see a lot of this great effect. I was able to see some of the good and bad effects of landscape design, whether good or bad, over the course of time. So it was very educational, and overall, highly recommend visiting Crystal Bridges if you're ever in the state of Arkansas. So I ended up working at Crystal Bridges for about a year when I accepted a job offer to work as a ground supervisor. And currently, I've been able to learn a lot at my current position. A lot of hands-on experience with landscaping and keeping the grounds looking great to high standards. Been able to dive a lot more into project management, planning out landscape projects and budgeting, as well as working with contractors and leadership teams. This job has been a fantastic mix of practical horticulture work as well as developing my organizational and leadership abilities in a meaningful way. And like Crystal Bridges, any footage I share is taken on my own time and isn't sponsored or affiliated. But yeah, my journey into horticulture, I'm still on this journey into horticulture, trying to learn more every day from as many people as I can. And I've learned specifically in working at with teams like at Crystal Bridges, be able to learn a lot more from other people around you. I really enjoy horticulture, specifically the landscape design and maintenance side of it. I enjoy designing beautiful annual arrangement, designing residential properties, as well as the satisfaction of simple mowing and edging and making something look professional and clean and beautiful. There's a certain satisfaction I get in horticulture whenever I'm working on a project and they're wrapped up. Um, I can't quite, it's a feeling I can't quite put into words, but it's something I really enjoyed, and I'm really glad I'm in this industry. Horticulture is a big part of why I created this channel. I wanted to reach out to people my age and younger that horticulture is more than mowing lawns. It can be something artistic and beautiful, as well as scientific and economic. It's great for business-minded people, and there's a lot of entrepreneurship that's going around the horticulture industry, especially in irrigation. I say they're coming out with more and more precise instruments and ways to manage your water. And I find it's very diverse as well. You can easily shift around different areas from trees to lawn mowing to landscape design to irrigation to production to flower arrangement. It's almost endless with how many different aspects you can dive into and specialize. But even though you're specialized in something, it's still applicable to the larger blanket of horticulture. I hope to learn more and be able to teach others about it as well. So I hope you enjoy this channel and the videos I create. I know I'm not the greatest at video editing. Maybe if this channel gets bigger, I can hire an editor or something. But for right now, in the meantime, it's just me. I'm doing my best to create fun videos and something that you'll be able to enjoy watching. I've been wanting to make videos for several years now, so I hope you can enjoy these videos. It'll be a bit of a long process. I know that probably the first 100 or so videos aren't going to be the greatest and probably a little cringy to be honest, but it's part of the process. So thank you for sticking around. And I know we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. So if y'all want me to do a fun video next week or whenever we hit 1,000 subscribers, just let me know and we'll do something fun. So if you have any ideas, put them down in the comments. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope you're inspired to start your own journey into horticulture. So thank you for watching, and see you later.